Okay, I am live. Hi. Hi, everybody. I did survive the emptying of the house. Barely. I had to stop. Let's see, today's Tuesday. I had to stop on Sunday at I think about 8 o'clock that night. I could no longer walk. My legs hurt like the dickens. My feet hurt even more. And I found a wheel-to piece of furniture, surprisingly, in the leaves outside and twisted my knee. So, and I was just physically exhausted too. So I was done. I couldn't do anymore. And Jen, that dear lady, was still there. Finally found out her age. She's 82. And her and another lady were still working. Mike and I went over last night because I went over the night uh, on Sunday. We got the rug. She's given me a beautiful rug for the dining room from her dining room, which will need to be what the hell's that from? Cleaned. But that's a whole other headache for another day. It's where it's safe. It's out of the weather. All rolled up. Last night, I thought they took the rug mat. 1-800-JUNK was taking the rug mat. And no, they saved it for me. Well, the whole backing of it is just toast. It's you pick it up and it's like it just crumbles off the back. So it's not really usable. And it has no padding left. And I don't know how old it is, but I honestly, I swear it's made out of fiberglass. It is so stiff and no real cushioning. So we've put it out front of our house, hoping the trash men will take it. But I keep telling Mike, I think we're going to have to cut it up for them to take it. But at this point, we're both just too tired to care. He's still recovering from bad bronchitis. I've kept clear of him because I didn't want it. But even with that, when we were there to pick up the rug, he was helping and taking wheelbarrowfuls of boxes and totes to the neighbor's garage, which bless his heart. I mean, he worked hard doing all that for over an hour. He wasn't thrilled, but he did it. And so I then I made sure she had, bless her heart, given me some cash, and I took him out to a nice dinner. I think we both deserved it. Where we could sit down, and I was so done. I was like, I need a real drink. I deserve one. So I had a Long Island iced tea. And then I had a second one because I wanted to just be able to go home and go to sleep. And so then on Monday, she's still over there. And I could barely walk. I had to pull my cane out, go back to using my cane. My knee was still swollen. And so we were there again Monday night to go get, they said, oh, we saved you the rug pad. So that was Monday night. That was last night. We got the pad out, and Mike did 3 or 4, I think 4 runs of totes and here 3 of them I looked at, they were empty. So they got them filled. Hey, Simmy. So once they were filled, he took them over. So I think he took 4 wheelbarrows full. And I mean, he was stacking it up pretty high. And did that, and then helped get stuff to her car to load her car up. And they weren't done. And she was getting upset because she's like, well, but she's aware of the fact that it's her own fault. that she didn't take this seriously. I've been going over to help her, and it's taken 3 years before she's let me into the house. I started helping her take stuff away from that house in 2019. Yeah. So she knows it's kind of her fault that it's not empty, that she waited too long to really, it didn't really become real to her until this month, and it just, so it is what it is. And I called her at noon today because I knew she said she had to be over the house at 7 o'clock in the morning, supposedly to let the cleaners in that the real estate agent had hired. And so at noon, she was still there with the people from 1-800-JUNK. I'm not a big fan of them. When they years ago, I guess when they were first started, I watched them show up at a friend's estate with a trash truck kind of truck. And they took a sledgehammer to some lawyers' bookcases, the kind that have the glass doors that close and lock. Most of the time you find them now, they don't lock. They had been her grandfather's, and they smashed them. They smashed them right in front of us to throw them into the trash truck. And so I'm not a fan of 1-800-JUNK. I think they've changed their ways now because they don't send dump trucks. They send an actual... All right. Yep, no surprise at all that it's you. Aragorn's been following me around since yesterday like a puppy. Hello, Miss Arwen. What? You want to come in? Come on. I'm only trying to keep the heat in. You coming? Come on. You've been in the room before. This is why I'm cleaning up this room. I have brought home 2 bookcases that Michael does not know about. When I looked at them on the sleeping porch, this house had the actual sleeping porch. It was so cool. Who came in? Flipping crazy. Hi, honey. Hi, Lisa. But last night, I mean, I'm there with my cane. She keeps trying to get me to sit down, and I'm like, no, I'm not 82. You sit down and let's quick sort some of what's here. Tell me what's important. What definitely has to go. So we started filling up the 4 totes that she still had. And then she's sitting there looking at this piece of Westmoreland glass. It's a basket, but it's like, it's this big. Okay. It's this big. See that compared to my fingers? It's that big thing. And it's the white grape pattern. And she's like, I mean, look at this is a treasure. And I'm like, okay, so is that important to you that you want it to stay? And she goes, well, no, it can go. I just don't want to see it thrown in the trash. And I said, dear, if that's the case, I'll take it. I'll take it. So I will have that in a live sale at some point. I was throwing stuff when she was letting me. She's like, well, do you want it? And this whole last week, I've just said yes to everything she's offered me. I didn't care what it was. I didn't care if it was going to go into recycling when it got home. I didn't care. So my house now has every possible place packed. Absolutely. And the car from today's Tuesday. So the car from Sunday, I still haven't unpacked it because I physically couldn't. I was in bed most of Monday. I went downstairs, got a cup of tea, got something to eat, and realized I stand there and I do this. That's how bad it was. My legs were just so tired. I haven't been this tired with my legs since the first week full time at Wawa, where you're standing for 8 hours. So, oh yeah, you have to be careful who you hire. I mean, I used to do it briefly for a living. I would help elderly people downsize that were going into the county nursing home. And I know it is a ton of work, but I've never had anybody who kind of fought you along the way about being realistic about leaving the house, but I think that's because she didn't really like she didn't really hire me. She did and she didn't. She kind of got pushed into it by her daughter. Come here, little boy. Come here. Come say hello. You want the tummy rubs or not? Hey, wait. If you want down, we do it right. Stop. Turn around. Good boy. If you want down, we do it right. No wiggling and then dropping and having your head bang on the table. We're not doing that. Oh, you got a little closer. Are you coming in? Chicken kitty. Let's get her. Come here. How is our little girl? Say hi, Miss Arwen. How's our little girl? What? You get petted. It's okay. I know you don't like to be held. You're getting better at it, though, at least with me. But I don't think it really became real to this woman that she was leaving her house until this past week. And there was still just so much. And one couple, it was another friend that her daughter grew up with. She and her husband had a minivan, and they were taking van loads. I think they took the back seat out. Yeah, what? You want to go out there again, or you want to stay in here? But they were amazing troopers, and they had been there. And then she would come back, or after Jen had gone home to the new apartment, and and this woman would stay till 2 or 3 in the morning just packing stuff up, because that's what it needed. There was no time to sort anything. You just, if it looked important, just pack it. So, and they spent 2 days just hauling these boxes to the storage unit, to the apartment storage, or to her apartment. And they knocked it out. They got so much stuff out. So, what is it was good for? Arnick, I don't know that one. Well, I know one of the problems was like you get too wore out, you don't have enough potassium, you can get muscle cramps. You're purring, but you don't want to be in my arms. Okay. Hi, CDC. So, hey, careful what you rub against, girl. But by now she should be out of there, I hope. And I told her that whenever she gets home, I don't care when she gets home, get to the apartment and get yourself something to eat, something to drink, and go to bed. Go to bed. If you wake up in the middle of the night, doesn't matter. Just get up, putter around for an hour or two, and then go back to bed. Because she's exhausted. And she's 82. So she had told me that she was in the vicinity of 80, but wouldn't tell me in which direction. And she got mad at somebody for trying to push her faster. And she turned around to this woman and went, I'm 82. How fast do you expect me to go? And considering what was going on at the time, she had every right to be annoyed. She did. She had every right to be annoyed at this person at that moment. So, yeah. But it was really comical. And I turned around and I went, aha, now I know how old you are. And she just kind of went, oh, dang. and that's how I get her to, to calm down and keep her spirits up, is I will crack jokes. I will try to keep her laughing. I'll listen to her stories, because everything in that house had a story. It was from either this trip around through different countries, or that trip, or whatever. So I'm glad to be done, but I have a car to empty, and I, honest to God, don't know where any of it's going. I don't know. I can't get into the dining room again because there's an antique trunk in the way and boxes piled on top of that. and more boxes and a very small chair, which I want for up here because there's nowhere for me to sit in the packing room. Now, the packing room, the beginning of this year, the raccoons got in through the broken window. Yeah. And they knocked things over and made a mess. Got them out pretty quick. That was okay. I would come up every day, bang on the door, and then at night. So they left because it was, I think it was a mother with 2 young ones, so she didn't stick around. But they made a mess, and I hadn't cleaned up what they knocked over, but I cleaned up any deposits they left behind and anything that they might have peed on. All that got trashed, chucked out the window from the 3rd floor. Neighbors must have thought I was bonkers. But the cats have been but the piles that were knocked over were never tidied up. And then Mike, as we've had boxes downstairs, a surplus of small boxes, he would come up here, but he just left them in the door. He wouldn't arrange them. So this is, I'm going to move you guys. Yeah, it's hard to deal with any clean out crew or movers when you're by yourself. You can't direct traffic to everybody, and they're everywhere in the house. I don't have any bananas at the moment. I wish I did. I love bananas. Yeah, I like the stories, but when you're packing somebody up to move, you ain't got time for that. So I'm going to give you guys a show of just what a mess I've got. Look at all this. It's a lot. Now over here, I don't know what these guys did, but somehow this box is now sideways, and it hadn't been. And this box is, so this is all tilting. And one of these boxes here, these are, I think, all books of mine, and that tilted, and somebody is trying to get something. Ha, I know what you're after, young lady. You stay out of that box. I know exactly what she's after. But I do have, wait, how can I get this so you can see? I do have a packing table. An old boyfriend helped me get this here. It was his, basically what he had been using as a desk. It's just a cheap kitchen table, but it's the right height, and he, bless his heart, actually helped get it up here to the 3rd floor years ago before it looked like this. And I have, paper to stuff with, paper to wrap with. I have a light because there's no light on the ceiling up here. And so there we go. So I actually have stuff. Yeah, trying to organize, but I need to get you standing back up again and not fall over. Okay, you get a close up of Aragorn's head, but I know what she is after. Let me show you. Well, where did they come from? That's a box of. So these are some kind of gribby. They're pretty solid. Like, I can't even squeeze these, but they're foam. That's what this big box is that she was on top of. They have discovered that because at some point the door in the summer, the door got left open. Might have been by me, might have been when Michael brought stuff up for me, but they kept disappearing, and this became their playground. And then these started showing up on the 2nd floor and on the 1st floor, and they think they're toys. They've been stealing them out of that big box. No, no, no. You cannot have those. So, I got a box here. Tuck that in there. And I had a trash bag in it. Trash bag can in here. Oh, okay. I see what happened to the trash can. The trash can has, or whatever his name is, horse in it. and some of the armor and some other Mark's toys. And I have no clue what that is. A Chase Lounge, maybe? But it's not finished. Okay. Okay, so the horse is in there. Sir Gordon, I think, was the name. All right, so that's in there for safekeeping for some odd reason. We're going to move that over here. Pen is on the floor. I don't know where my green pen went. It's up here. Where are you going now, dude? So this box isn't good. No, this box was crushed on the corner. So that's what I want to do today. Is I want to spend some time on my own house. I told her I will call her again on Friday. She can call me anytime this week she wants. But I will call, if I don't hear from her, I'll call her on Friday and check in, make sure she's doing okay. And then next week, we will find a day. I will come over, we'll have lunch together, and I'll help you figure out and sort stuff, and we'll do that. And I'm hoping that over the winter, because I don't think she knows anybody over at this retirement community. Back when I was young, that place was a nursing home, but it's got all these little one floor apartments now. And what are you doing? Get him. Go ahead, Arwen, get him. Payback time. So I think that might help her with the transition. One, because she even said she doesn't want to lose touch with me, because in her opinion, I've become a friend. The other thing is that I don't want her to get depressed afterwards. She needs to get through that stuff that she's got, and it's easier sometimes and more fun if you've got somebody that you can just sit there and we go, okay, here's a box at maybe at the kitchen table, and go, all right, we got an empty table here, here's a box, let's figure this stuff out. So especially with how things got packed the last week. Yeah, I have a car. Yeah, those things do look like kitty toys, sorta. But you know the thing, anything not nailed down is a cat toy. So that's how it works, right? So I gotta get this pile that's been tipped over. What is all this? Oh, wow. See, I've been so worried about her place. I didn't worry about my own. I could have been listing these on eBay or Etsy. Look, Wizard of Oz, kids costume patterns, adult costume patterns. Oh, I know this one. This is the Lord of the Rings. Now, Mom figured out how to take this one and size it down. That might be some of the pattern pieces that are in here, because there's loose pattern pieces in here. But she sized it down and made Michael wanted to be Theoden. Of all the characters he could have picked, he picked King Theoden after he's cured of being, under Saruman's spell in the Lord of the Rings movies. So Mom made him the outfit. We actually still have it. So it's actually hanging in Mike's closet. But we made it, and but yeah. But you know what? There's gonna be another Halloween again in another 365 days. This fabric ain't going anywhere. These patterns ain't gonna go anywhere yet. There's plenty of time. Oh my goodness. The car I have now is technically, it's the one Michael's first car, the Ford Focus. I had to co-sign the loan, so it's also got my name on it. But he was making enough and had enough money, bless his heart, that he gave Gary and I that car. And so we have full use of that, but then we have to pay for everything for it. Ugh. And I shouldn't have been halfway like that. And then he has whatever it is he's got. I don't remember what he's got. Because that car he's only going to have for a year. And then he wants to trade it in and get a bigger vehicle. Do you want to go out? You want to go out into the house? Hopefully. No? Yeah, I know. Gimli's still outside. I'm not happy about that, but he wouldn't come. You know, you don't want to do that. Okay. Picky. So I do have a car. So, oh yeah, to you know what drove me nuts? I used to beg her to teach me how to sew. She never took the time out. My costume was always the last one made. It was usually the one that was never had a fitting, so it never fit right. I've gone on stage being pinned into outfits, occasionally once sewn into one. You know, instead of having proper buttons and buttonholes like everybody else did, I had Velcro. It used to just piss me off, honestly. Your own kid gets the shabbiest costume. What the hell is that about? But then it's like the shoemakers, you know, don't eat the spider. Too late. Arwen, and you eat moths. Are you teaching your sister to eat the insects? So I don't know how to lay a pattern out for clothing. I can do craft sewing where it may not always matter. You know, there's a warp and a weft. I don't know which way is which of fabric. Like it'll stretch a little bit one way, but not another. And I don't know how to tell that. And I know that matters for clothing. And she... Camera hog. But she never, ever taught me. So I have a house that's got everything I could ever want. Fabric that was for clothing that she never made me. And I don't know what to do with it because I don't know how. So when we have the dining room back again, because I have to have somewhere to cut stuff out, she taught Michael, like she did everybody, basic sewing on a sewing machine. He knew how to sew a button, hem his own pants, mend a tear. But he took sewing in high school. Took a home ec. Because he wanted to actually really know how to sew. So he spent more time with her. He doesn't know as much as she did, but he knows enough that he has in the past made a few, like he's made himself a vest. He's made himself a couple of those. He's made pajama pants. He hasn't tried, because men's shirts are very tailored, and he hasn't done that yet. But we kept all of her sewing books. One is specifically about tailoring. So we figure we could figure it out because he's at least got more basic knowledge than I do. What is it? Straight, cruise, and bias grain. Straight, cross, and bias grain. I've heard those terms. To me, bias is a tape. No. Bias is that funny tape you put around the edges. Oh, I got a lot to learn. And I know somewhere there should be a bag with fake leopard fur. I kid you not. Snow leopard, no less. That was supposed to be a winter coat for me. I haven't found that fur yet. My sister threw it out. I'm going to be really pissed because it had been in the dining room. And when she came to help clean out the house, she just never asked about anything and then put the trash bags in her car and took them. That's not the way to be helpful. So I never asked again. because that's where all of my patterns for my purses, they're all gone. They were at the end of the dining room table where she had been working, and the bag with all these scraps of really expensive bits of trims, all gone. So when I start making purses, I got to do it from scratch. All my patterns are gone. Yeah, it didn't go well. So, but I've got plenty of supplies, which reminds me, actually, let me show you guys something. I was trying to explain this to you guys during a craft sale. So, this is a stretch lace. Still stretchy, still good. But when I said we got stuff from the mills from my aunt, I wasn't kidding. We got stuff from the mills where, you know, they used to make clothing. This is an entire massive bolt of stretch lace. A full spool from the Resell Lace Company. A full spool is 97 yards. I have at least 2 of these. I have 2 sitting out. There may be more. There may be more of them, but I know where 2 are right now, right outside the door. So, oh, I know you would, hon. I know you would. But yeah, the biggest problem in this house now is that it is completely packed. And then, you know, we had little bits of wiggle room, but now with bringing stuff back from her place, there's no wiggle room left. There's no wiggle room left. So I came up here just to find a box that was fairly big, but not so big that I can't lift it, to start filling up for Goodwill. Because some of the stuff that she gave me, I took it and went, I'm sending that right to Goodwill. I used to actually stop with the stuff that was donation and stuff for me. And I used to just tell her, just put it all in one box because I'll go through it all anyway. And so I would park in Goodwill's parking lot in the back and I'd sort it all first. And then I'd give them what was being donated. But this weekend, there was no time. There was no time for that. Everything just came here. It all just, I mean, I have stuff stacked in my kitchen now. Never did that before. All right, let's get this box straight now. What is this box? Ugh. Why is this box heavy? Well, let's put this over here by the door. Oh, priority mail. Oh, this is probably from my brother. Priority mail, legal size envelope. Domestic and international use. I mean, where do you see this? Do you see this? Look how many are in there. Oh my God. Oh, ow. Muscle cramp. That's the other problem. The shots in my spine are beginning to wear off. All right. You're not really stackable. Certainly not on your side. So this is cardboard for inside stuff. This has a place over there. What's this? Oh my Lord. More of them. Oh, I am never going to use this many of these. Oh my goodness. How many's in a... All right, let's just for curiosity's sake. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20. 9, 30, 7, 8, 39, 4. So there's 50 in each chunk because they alternate how they're in here. Okay, so if that's 50, so we have 100, 200, 300, and a little bit over. What on earth am I doing with those? Oh my Lord, no. They're going on Facebook Marketplace. I do not need. It is rare for me to, I mean, it's a nice size envelope, but it's rare for me to have anything that size that would go priority mail. 300 over 300. No. Just no. Oh my goodness. Oh. Hi, Linda. Oh. I don't need a dumpster to throw stuff away. Any cardboard I take out of here today, I'm literally going to lob out that window to the front lawn because tonight's recycling night. And then trash-wise, the city decided to give everybody, every house has a brand new trash can on wheels with a lid that's attached. There's one problem. I'm 5'3" in my bare feet. The trash can literally comes up to my armpit, okay? It comes up to here. It's a monster. If I fill it, I can't move it. But I have, let's see, there's two little round ones. One does have a lid, one doesn't. There's two big ones. No, I take that back. There's one big one because the second one, the newer one, is catching all the rainwater from the bad leak. And then there is one on wheels. So I still have 4 other trash cans besides the monster one from the city. And the only reason they did that is because now they can lay off one guy on the truck. So now instead of having 2 guys working either side of the street, they figure they can only have one guy on the truck. But they're finding out that that doesn't work because the truck has a little lever thing for these giant cans, and they just hook it up and the truck automatically dumps it. But somebody's still got to walk that can back to where it was. So it didn't work. They thought they could fire one guy off the trash truck, and it didn't work because you still need 2 guys to pull from each side, or else they're going to end up working overtime. So who else came in? Hello, Tracy. So what I need to do, because this is where the storage of all boxes has been for years, but after it got, after the raccoons were in here, when I cleaned up from them, I also helped create this mess because I was just like chucking what was good off to one side and throwing out the window anything they had ruined. And it's nothing but boxes and a few storage to my left. But all that mostly is just all boxes for shipping. Now that we know that those are leaving, let's see if I can completely get them out of the way to where I can actually. I don't think you're one I will use. You are definitely one I will use a lot. That's where the tape went. Okay, you fit here. And can the door still open? Yes. Good. We're going to put them where I can get to them to get them out of here because Mike will have to carry them downstairs for me. I don't know how much bending I can do. Do what I can. All right. You should be there. You should be there. You are to protect the painting. You can go in that corner. You need to go to the window because you're leaving. Tissue paper. That bin is on the other side of the table on the floor. But now, come here, you. Good. Oh, that's good. 2 boxes that will be leaving. There. Pop that. Cats are looking at me like, what the heck was that? Okay. That was a half-empty air bubble pack. Trash. So, where can we put this? This thing's such flimsy plastic. All right. Wow, an empty spot. Yay. So let me put the box of fabric patterns right there. This goes to the early Disney toy box, which I have yet to find comps on because it's older. They got it when Steve was born. Steve was born in 1947. So this thing is at least from the late 40s, early 50s. And it's got lithographs all around the front and sides of the 3 little pigs and the big bad wolf. And I can't find comps. And when we can get it out of the attic, I'll probably put it on Facebook Marketplace because I'm not trying to eBay this sucker. That's too big. We all know that. We all have those things where we look at it and go, I'm not going to ship that. She gave me a California pottery soup tureen. It was all white, had the plate, the tureen, the ladle, the lid, all in beautiful condition. I drove out of my way to get it to the Goodwill that I knew wouldn't just drop it into one of those great big cardboard boxes, which is what I've seen the nearest Goodwill to me do many a time. I've seen them deliberately break things so they don't have to deal with it. They're idiots. They don't take care of what they get. So I went all the way up to Holmes to the Goodwill that takes care of what they get, that is amazingly fast at turning stuff around. I gave them all that in a box. Told them it was California pottery. Online comps are about $40. I'm not going to ship this. I don't want the headache of shipping this. It's too heavy. It's too big. I don't want to deal with it. You guys can have it. He walks in with the box. I finish emptying the car because it was bags of clothes and they had a blue bin on wheels just specifically marked for clothing. So I put all that in, get in the car, drive around to the front, park the car, go inside. Because I usually, when I find vintage stuff, it's usually $1,000. I get in the door, I'm looking around, I don't think anything of it. I see the guy who helped me walk past me. I didn't pay any attention. I'm looking, I find a couple of things. I get up front, there's the soup tureen. They're putting it in the locked case up front with a $40 price tag on it, and a little handwritten sign says, California pottery. They took it right to the front, put a tag on it, put it in the cabinet. So people could look at it and somebody will probably buy it. I like that Goodwill. Oh, okay. What do we got? Yeah, I mean, so that's why I like going up to the one in Holmes and the one in Claymont, because that's happened in Claymont too. I've taken stuff and then by the time I'm in the store in the front. They're sometimes bringing it out with price on it. All right, now I need to get this box. This box. No, this is. Oh, it's upside down. No. Remember that game? That was one of my Christmas presents, this game. But it looks like it somehow got dumped in there upside down. Actually, it might have been, I don't know what it might have been, but it's, at least the marbles are in a bag. Okay. What else is in here? The other Harry Potter. Michael doesn't want the puzzles, so the Harry Potter puzzles have to be checked to make sure we have all the parts and then put online. But this should be that way. This, another piece of trash. Determined to get stuff done. This underneath is a bunch of white padded envelopes. I will be needing that size. And then one plastic one. All right. So, all right, what can they go in that's smaller? Actually, you know what? I have, come here, you. I know I have 5 books downstairs that need this size, right? You just say number 1. I don't know where my tape measure is. But I know I have 5 things that are this size, and I don't have this size down there. Because what I have down there are these plastic ones, and you can see they're just not as wide. So I'll take 7 down. That'll give me 2 extra to be able to get that taken care of. And I'm going to stick that in there. I'm going to take the 3 puzzles that are here. 2 Harry Potter and 1 Disney. I'm going to carefully sit them in there because then they're safe for now. These are going down with me. This is going to Goodwill because I'm never going to use that. It's a logic puzzle that you stick a bottle of wine in. That's going to Goodwill. This, I still have my Dawn. I sold my Cher doll, made a lot of money on all the costumes for the Cher doll. If you find Cher clothing, Cher doll clothing, there is serious money to be made in that, especially if you find the Bob Mackie clothing. There was outfits that she wore on the TV show, and then he downsized the pattern and made him for the doll. And some of those Bob Mackie ones can go for $80 or more. The Cher doll clothing paid for my flatbed scanner when I first started on eBay because I didn't have a camera. Actually, digital cameras were crazy expensive. So, oh, good. Bag with some of the dishes is in there. So, I have this one with the box, and then I have another one because I know there's some pieces in here that are broken, like the little legs broke off, but I have another one at the bottom of the staircase. I picked up some random pieces at a yard sale and need to see because they're in good shape and I need to replace the broken bits. And then honestly, when I can get back into the Black Hole Challenge room and into that closet, I think then I'll probably list all my Dawn stuff and clear it out. And finally, let that go. But for now, it needs to be safe. And there is safe. So you guys are still packed in your packaging. So you can go on that shelf. you won't fit. Well, you, if you behave, can slide right in there, and then you should fit. Yes, you'll fit. There. I made, the way this table is made, the two legs come down and then there's a crossbar. I made a shelf across that crossbar. So I have certain size boxes on the shelves under there. A poor, pitiful pearl doll. I don't know that doll. I don't know that name for a doll. Anyway, so yes, back in the day, I used to use cereal boxes. You know why? Because antique books fit beautifully in these. And antique books, sometimes you need to really protect them, even paperbacks. Old vintage paperbacks, that glue binding will crystallize, and then they're very, very fragile. So they would go into a cereal box that they fit perfectly in, and then it would go into another box. I decided I couldn't be too careful. Actually, I have more of these downstairs, so these can go in there. You know, guys, I'm trying to make it to that window. This is more priority mail of the ones I use. This is another air pocket thing. It's pretty empty except for one pocket. I'm going to scare the cats again. Hang on. Oh, there we go. No point in keeping it one pocket. I can chuck it. What, pray tell, are you? What are you? Oh, you're shoebox stopping. Okay. Put you right there. Hopefully it won't fall over. These are cruddy. They can go. That one is album size. We'll deal with that when we get them. That's 2 specific for books. That with the stuff to go downstairs. Get those books out of here. Oh, this was just something of Mike's. I thought it's, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's too thin, the cardboard. So, you know, when you sell old postcards and stuff, you really want something in it to keep it, like, firm. I try to use note cards. But, okay, how many of you remember these? The triangle-shaped priority mailboxes. I don't think they make these anymore. I have, it's buried over that way somewhere. I should have a whole box of those. I ordered a case a long while ago because hiding in the living room is an entire box of one sheets. Remember going into the movie theaters? Now it's all like plastic stuff with a light behind it. But they used to have the poster of what was upcoming or what was out. And those are called one sheets. Well, I have from someone who used to work at the movie theater in the 80s into the 90s, an entire box filled with one sheets. And I mean, it's a big box. They're all standing up. They're all in there. Some of them, it's 2 rolled together. So I got the boxes and then started selling them off. And then got Michael. And Michael, it just was a real problem because to get a decent picture, you have to weight the thing so it lays flat. And the only way I could do that was to lay it on the floor. And I tried doing that with a 2-year-old in the house. It just wasn't possible anymore. So I just closed that box up and set it aside because it was not feasible to do. This one's bent with a small child. So I will have them to do at some point. Let's see, who else is? Show off the book to the kids? Not yet. We just had our court of honor last week. My trip is in 2 weeks. This week and next week. So on the 11th, I'm supposed to be on a mountain somewhere. You can go with the rest of them. Here you go. I don't think I need to save that. I used to save every bit of packing I could, but there comes a point where you go, hey, you know what? This is too squished. Now, this is empty. And while, yeah, it's a good packing box, I need boxes to get things out of here to Goodwill. If I fill this, I can still lift this. And I know I'm not going to find too many big boxes up here. Sir, what? You want to leave? Yeah? I don't know where 2 of them are. Elrond is somewhere, and Frodo's somewhere. And Gary said one of them is stuck in the basement. I didn't think both of them were. It's nap time. Speaking of which, where did your sister go? She was in the windowsill. Now she's disappeared. All right. Oh, come on. Go if you're going. Go if you're not going. You just want to see what I'm doing. Go. Because I want to pop that out there. Because before I leave, I have to make sure they're out of here so I can shut the door. Oh. Why, pray tell, were you up here? This is it's so old, it's kind of lost a lot of its retraction ability. This was my dad's. Mike has turned out to be like my father in one area, definitely. That if he uses something, he doesn't necessarily put it back in the basement. I couldn't find a hammer. I found out why. It's up here on the landing from when we were out on the roof fixing the roof. So, yeah, no. Yeah, wait a minute. I'm squishing Sir Gordon's horse. And I know that Mark stuff is worth money, which is why I've been trying to find it. Every time I find a piece of it, of the armor, I stick it in a drawer in the hallway. Come on, you. Out of the road. I'm going to stick that there. Get this nice little box off the floor, because that's a good solid one. Well, let's not put it away. Good boy. You got to find your sister. I think she decided to take her nap. That's not okay. Oh, I need to get to the window. Trash. Pen. More priority. This is a smaller flat rate box. I don't tend to use flat rate. It's gotten too expensive. Right now, let's just get them out of the way. Gotta get them out of the way. Boy, I didn't know I had one of those left. I thought I used all of those. They're tiny, tiny. They're good for jewelry. Another pen. Another box that's squished can go. So this is what I can focus on now, though, is our own house. And Mike initiated an interesting conversation last night of plans and what he thinks would work. And so we're kicking around some ideas. But I pointed, he asked me flat out, he said, what do you need the most? What rooms do you need the most? Well, I need to get up to that packing room, and that needs organization, and it needs some of the stuff has gotten squashed. It needs to go. So, like this thing, I mean, medium file folders. This used to be filled with old National Geographics. At this point, it just needs to go. I'm trying to get it apart because it just would be easier if I just send the, to pile it up out front. It's all flat. So that's basically, that one was squished, that one was squished. There we go. That's basically, I have to have the packing room and I have to have the black hole challenge room. I need an office. So so we have an agreement that every Tuesday I'm to come spend 2 hours up here just getting it more organized, and he will help when the time comes. We'll clean the walls, we'll paint it, and Aragorn's trying to claw his way through the door. Cut that out. You're not coming back in. And we have, what was the other thing and we have those 2 bookcases to come up here. So that will give me an area to sit things. And I have 2 ottomans that are stacked in the dining room that then, if they're by the window, it gives the cats somewhere. If they're up here with me, especially in the afternoon, that gets all the afternoon sun over at that window. So gives them somewhere to not get into so much mischief. It'll give them somewhere they can lay in the sunlight. All of them can lay in the sunlight. Because when they're all up here, they fight for those window sills, because the window sill's about 10 inches wide. It's not big enough for 5 kitties, though. So that's our game plan right now. But the first part is, and I told him, I said, I will spend the first 2 hours today, but then I need to, hi Sherry, I need to be able to get the car emptied. But I'll start, because Tuesday, like I said, Tuesday's recycling night. It has to go out tonight. They'll pick it up in the morning. So this is the start of the new plan. 2 hours up here. But I wanted to go live and just check in and say hi to everybody and let you know I am alive. And I think the smartest thing would be to just not try to waffle myself too much by having the Christmas sale birthday party. I'm gonna have to postpone it, and we'll pick it up again probably on the sale closer to Thanksgiving. The only reason I'm kind of leery is, like, next week, this week will be a live chat. Next week would be a sale. But next week's sale, that Friday, I have to leave for the trip to the mountains. So I think that would also give me time to clear out, find everything, and add more Christmas to it. I don't think you guys would mind that, but that's kind of still fluid. I know I'm not in any shape to do a sale this week, to do it this week. I slept for 12 hours last night. I slept for 14 hours Saturday into Sunday. And still just was so waffled that I could barely stand by the time I got home Sunday night. And spent most of yesterday just in bed. I went downstairs, and the effort to get up the staircase again was as bad as it was when my back first got injured. That's how rough it, how exhausted and rough it was. So I know I've pushed it to the limit, and I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be hurt. So I'm gonna pace myself because this winter, lots gonna happen. Okay, hon. Flip it. Lisa, do you have any sales today? If you do, put it in the comments of when your next sale is. CDC, my eBay sales have been so-so. I sold the last of the Sarah Bell artist advent cards for $12.95. So I sold the last one of that. I sold a couple of postcards, but I had one sale I was so disappointed in. And probably Thursday, probably. My whole life is probably right now. You want to go out with your brother? Okay. Come on. There you go. Go on. Good kitty. Sorry, Aragorn. I'm not letting you back in. I had one problem, though, in that I had somebody who purchased some Calvin Klein men's underwear where they won the auction because they ran it first as an auction. And then they vanished. They never paid. 7 days went by. They never paid. They never answered any emails. Nothing. So I canceled it and relisted them. That was disappointing, but it is what it is. So, and I think I had one book that I listed has sold. Now I do have some of those pins that you sent me, Lisa. I have a couple of pins online now. But that's another thing is on the 2-hour thing, if I'm not up here on a Tuesday for those 2 hours, then at least 4 days a week, I have to do a 2-hour online sales, eBay or Etsy, doesn't matter which, but I've got to do 2 hours where I get stuff up and running and listed. And I agreed to that, so I'm trying. I'm not the most scheduled person in the world. I think we all know that. And then I am to pick a day of the week where all I do is pack an invoice. That's a bigger challenge, but we'll do it. I'll figure it out because that needs to happen. Where I have one day where that's all I do is pack an invoice. Now, let's move you to right here because my big envelopes. These are number 6. I don't use many of them, but I've used a quarter of that big box, and I actually have the next size smaller at the other end of that box because I have Life magazines that are the great big ones. There are some older magazines I have that are the great big, but they're in the attic. I mean, there's literally a stack up to my hip of Life magazines in the attic. And that's what size those are for. That and other old magazines that are really big suckers. Now, let's see about you. Oh, hello. First off, no, spider, go away. This is one of my soup bowls that Mom got me. How the hell do you end up in here? Oh, a salad bowl, sorry. Blue willow pattern. You should be in the attic. Well, I gotta figure out a safe place for that. Okay, you're squished, so you can go. Where's that spider? Is he on you? He was on you. Where is he? No parts of spiders. No. No. Okay, this is a nice square size. good and solid. I'm not willing to give that to Goodwill. The other box I'll give to Goodwill. I don't mind. This is a nice square one. These are gift boxes. So they're very, thin. But when you have a larger box with a bunch of tiny stuff that also has to go to somebody, that is a good use for these. Because then you could just stick it in the corner of the bigger box and then pack the rest of the stuff around it. Now, what I have to do is, when we get this straightened out, I have a chain across the wall. Let me show you. I'm going to turn you guys around because I should go soon. Oh, okay. Estate sale, and I may be doing a show to sell. Okay. So Lisa's got a lot going on. But I have, see, can you see it? This chain it holds up because it's on the joists. Joists, whatever is in the wall, the 2x4 beams, the secure ones. So that, when you used to still be allowed to wrap packages in brown paper, that used to hold a big long tube of brown paper. Now I have tubes of white paper that were given to me from somebody when they were moving, and it's rolls of drafting paper. So there's printers that handle these great big schematic drawings, whether it's for architecture, whether it's for wiring, but he was moving, and so he didn't need them anymore because he wasn't taking his old printer for this stuff, because he's a master electrician and he does all this hardware. He specializes in running all the cables and stuff that you need for your computers and your phones. And he usually does it for corporates, for brand new buildings. And he'll do the entire building. And so he was getting a newer, bigger printer. So he gave me all the rolls of paper. So I need to refill that and put one up. But what I need on this side is I need to do the same thing on this side with bubble wrap, and take the small bubble wrap roll and see if I can hang it right here, because that's the one I use the most. And if it's hanging here, I'd be able to just turn around, take off what I need, turn this way, pack it up, because the table's literally right here. So that would expedite things incredibly well. So that would be a good one for that. And then anything that's larger bubbles could sit underneath this piece, because the bookcases, one's going on that side because it'll fit under that wall, and then the other one we have to figure out, because with the sloped ceilings, this used to be the maid's room. Sarah Wetherill she would hire somebody that maybe sometimes would be like a college student, or somebody that was working. I don't know where she got her people from, but she usually would hire somebody to be a live-in maid for a while, and this would be the maid's room. So that's why we have this tiny little bedroom up here. Now, the house used to be, got extras of these, but I don't know where I can stuff them. Not on top of the tissue paper box. No. Is there any room left? Oh, maybe. Yeah, no. Well, we'll slide you over there. This house, the 1911 house, originally was lit by gaslight, but I've never found an outlet or anything up here, because the ones in the dining room, it's left a little bump in the wall. When Dad tried to put a wall lamp in to my sister's bedroom, he actually hit the pipe. Luckily, that stuff was all disconnected in the basement. And so we know there was gaslight, but it doesn't seem to be anything for that up here. What's goofy up here is there's one plug in the ceiling up there. Why? I don't know why. And then there's another plug in the corner along the baseboard down there. They're the only two plugs in the room. But there's no light. There used to be a light on a cord that was a bare bulb that just hung. And it was plugged in here and then was hanging off a hook over by the window there. And that was the only light for years. But when my brother moved out, that bulb had been there for that wire had been there my entire life. And then when he moved out, he was in the hospital, so he ended up in the hospital. So his daughter came and moved all his stuff out. She took it with her. Whoops. So, okay, you're still good. Put you there. You're not good. Cats have clawed the crap out of that. Wait, that's not the trash bag. Where did I put the trash bag? There's the trash bag. It fell down at my feet. That piece is gone. That I left up here I don't know how long ago. There. So it's slow, but it's progress. And I'm going to keep doing it until such time as I have full use and organized use of the room. And I'm going to get rid of all of the superfluous and damaged boxes. And I am not so bad anymore that I need to keep, because back in the day I did. I had no shame. I didn't care. And they were clean boxes. They weren't anything that had food actually against the cardboard. And I know some people freak out about that. But when you're just starting out and you're hurting for boxes, you don't have a source and you haven't made enough money yet to buy them, you use what you got. That's what I did. So some of these are going to go. The rest of these are... I can't turn around. What's at my ankle? There we go. All right. So, well, there's the dustpan for up here. Good. I can sweep the floor a little bit if I can keep bending. All right. Now then, before I go, would you like to see me yeet this stuff out the window? Not the trash, though. So, we have a little pile, and I have a box to start filling for Goodwill, which was the main objective, and I've already spent... That was not a noise I should have heard. I've already spent an hour and 20 minutes up here. I told him that I do 2 hours today. I'm breaking it up at 2 because I don't think my back would take all the bending after this past week at the other house. So let's see. Let's have some fun. Thank you, studs. Brain is not completely engaged. So here's my view out the window. Now I can't see what I'm aiming at right now. Way down there is the ground. We're gonna just yeet this stuff right out the window. So you open the window. This is why I said the cats had to go. Can you see? Fly, be free. We're just gonna yeet it out the window. It's raining boxes, mighty boxes, rotten boxes. It's raining. Uh-oh. Oh, no. We have one that wanted to be persnickety. He's stuck. Oh, now we got to aim. Don't fall over. Ready? Darn. I got the one and not the other. All right. Hang on. We're going to do this. I know what we're going to do. Hang on. Put you where you can see me. Take one of these. And we're going to... Oh, you sucker. Come on, let's go. You're getting a hell of a view. Oh, that's not good. Look. That's pieces of shingles. And you can see where the tarring is curling. But yeah. Are there pieces? No, there's just leaves. But yeah, pieces of shingles are not good. And we've been finding them all over on the ground around the house. So the shingles are literally starting to fall apart. This was put on the house in... Dad died in 96. New roof got put on in 97. And it has... Oh no, there's no way to fall because I'm still inside the house, see? I'm way... I got all this stuff between me and that window. I used to climb out there and clean the gutter. There's a gutter on the other side of that. On the edge there. But I would never stand up. Oh, it's too chicken. Oh, Jesus. I mean, I know you got to pull the door hard, but I didn't expect some of the blasted caulk to fall off the glass. I was really hoping to caulk windows this fall. And we went, and the week that we had the beautiful weather for it, I was at her house cleaning it out. Because 2 pieces of caulk that hold the window in just went. 2 little pieces about 1 inch long each. I could see why, though. Yeah, there's no caulk at the bottom of 2 of these panes of glass. Can you see that strip there on the outside? That should have caulking. Now that is the crappy replacement window. This is one of the original windows. It's 12 panes. And that was in the basement. When the one brother lived here, he put an air conditioner in here, and none of us know what he ever did with the blasted window. We never found it. So when we took the air conditioner out, it's like, well, now what? We can't leave it open. So they screwed that one into place. I can't open that one. That's one of the originals. I only have 2 of the originals, and there's 4. Because there's these 2 windows, and then there's 2 that match it in the attic across the hallway. So, yeah. And I like these. These are wonderful. These, it's missing its wing nut. These were brass, but this slides, and this should be over top of that. And it holds the window so that when the wind blows, the wind doesn't pull the window right off, which the wind did to one of the attic windows. I found it laying on the front sidewalk, not the sidewalk toward the street, but the brick sidewalk from the house. Luckily, through some miracle, the window itself didn't, like the wood part didn't completely shatter, but 2 panes of glass did, and I didn't have any panes big enough. That's a big pane of glass. So it now has board over it, behind it. That's not exactly effective for cold air, but... Oh yeah, duct tape everything. So, the only problem with duct tape is it's a nightmare to get off. Absolute nightmare to get it off. So I am kind of toast right now. It's been 1 hour and 24 minutes, and my back is not happy. I don't blame it. I've been doing a lot. Well, let's turn you so that that tube isn't in the way. You're going to fall over. Oh, I don't know how did I do that. There we go. Oh, so I'll come back up at some point and probably do another 30 minutes. But I think my back is... He knows I'm real tired, though. he looked when I said, okay, I'll do 2 hours today because I need boxes. And he just kind of looked at me and went, uh-huh, you ain't going to last 2 hours. And I went, well, we'll see. He was right. I ain't going to last 2 hours. I'm not going to last. But I've got 2 boxes that are going to go right on the Facebook Marketplace. I do not need 300 of those envelopes. I do need that because those are book packets. But I certainly do not need over 300 legal size priority mail envelopes. Absolutely do not need that many. So let's see. There are about 10, there's about 15. And honestly, I think that's all I'm going to need. 15. So the other 2 boxes, so they're what, 150? Yeah, there's 150 in each box. They're going to go on Facebook Marketplace as soon as I can find a spot for them to be put downstairs, because there is nowhere right now. But they can then go. I'll put them on Facebook Marketplace and give them away, because after all, I would have gotten them for free. So somebody can have them. And oh, I know how they got here. They got here from that lady who was closing up shop. There was a woman I met at one of the church flea markets, and she had some packing material she was selling. Not any of the priority mailboxes. And she had an online business. She sold craft stuff she made crafting on Etsy, but they were getting ready to move. They were going to move. And so she was trying to clear out some of the stuff, and also some of her big bunch of packing stuff that she wouldn't need. And she said she had a bunch of FedEx boxes. And so I went and I picked up quite a few. That's what some of these are. Yeah, because this still has her address on it. So I got a couple of packs of these. I had a couple of boxes. Those 2 are boxes she gave me. I'm not really going to use them, so I'll just pass them along and give them away. So that'll be 2 boxes out of here from that. We yeeted some stuff out the window. And, oh, that's right. And my box for Goodwill is already out in the hallway with 1 thing in it already. I think that's progress. And my back and my legs are telling me that's enough progress, because my legs are starting to bother me. But it's a start. Got to have a beginning, you know. There's always got to be that first step. So I hope you guys enjoyed the live. It was impromptu and not expected. Hello, Julie. But you got to look at how much of a chaos the packing room is at the moment. And if I can get up here every Tuesday for 2 hours, it'll get a little more done and a little more done. And at some point, though, I have to come up and I have to figure out where I'm putting those bookcases, because these 2 bookcases I got are beautiful. They are early 1900s, but the wood glue that had been holding them together was not. The only thing holding them together was the backing board. So I took a hammer and tapped off, and it was only held with tiny little copper nails. I tapped off the backboards, and then one of them I literally popped apart with my hands. That's how, the glue, there was no glue. It was just nothing. And it came apart beautifully. And I know enough basic carpentry. I will be able to clean each piece, and then I want to polish each piece with wax, and then with proper, beeswax polish, and then put it back together. Because it's just so much easier if you have to clean it and then do that. It's a lot easier when the thing's apart. But then I could put it together all up here. But the other one, I had to take a hammer to, because 2 of the cross pieces were being really persnickety. So there's one spot where you could tell I hit it and I nicked the wood, but it's towards the inside of the bookcase. So when you're looking straight at it, you're not going to see it. So that one, but they're in pieces. So I have to find somewhere. They're probably going to have to go in the basement. But to do that, I have to clear off the old wooden desk down there so that they can sit on that. And that'll give me somewhere to work on them over the winter. So, because there's no room up here yet. Not yet. There will be. So that's the big plan. I'll deal with when Michael finds out I actually do have those bookcases, because he said no. And I went, that ain't gonna fly. So, but they're both gonna come up here. But here doesn't have anywhere to put them yet. Doesn't have the space. But here has a lot of stuff that's got to go. So, can you just return to the post office? I don't know. I don't know, Marilyn. I don't know. I can ask them. I could certainly ask them. The thing is like some sizes they've changed, and I don't know if they'll take them back. But I'll ask, because this seems like a pretty standard size. So I'll ask at the Aston post office, because unless Pam is at the Brookhaven one, because Pam's nice. That one woman that's there has got the bedside manner of a gorilla. So she's not a pleasant person to be waited on by. So I'll ask Pam if I see her in there. And then if I can't get her, I'll go to Aston and ask them there. They are very low key. They will probably just say yeah and take them. So, hi, Kitchy Corner. I'm feeling better. I'm not 100% yet, but I'm better. My legs need to recover. My back, I was careful. I made it through. I did aggravate my side by the end of the day, Sunday, which was another reason. It's my legs and my feet that gave out, and my body from exhaustion. I was just wiped. And you know how you sleep and you wake up and you don't feel any better? That's been this entire weekend. Last night, I woke up again at 2:00 in the morning, still feeling like a bus hit me, and then went back to sleep. And then for some reason, woke up wide awake at 7:30, but it was the first time I felt rested. You know what I mean? You've had that sleep where you just feel like really rested. So, okay. So I got a cup of tea. I got a little breakfast burrito and I ate that. I came back upstairs and I sat in bed and I started going through old magazines I had that I'm going to clear out. And I got through one In Britain magazine and then had 3 cats find out that the door wasn't latched. And so I had that sweater on the cat's leg. Elron stuck his head in it and tried to wiggle in under my armpit. So I finally opened the other side and dropped him in it. He went to sleep in this arm. I had Aragorn and Gimli between my knees, and they went to sleep. And I went, oh, I can't move. I can't move to read a magazine. And I fell asleep again. So Mike came in around 11:30 to see if I was okay, because he hadn't seen me. And he goes, oh, now I see why. And I woke up as soon as he walked into the room. And I went, oh, yeah. So he carefully woke up the 2 sleeping beauties in between my knees. And then I woke up Aragorn. I'm like, come on, guys, you got to let mom out of bed. So then my day finally started. So what was the comment? Oh, yeah, it does. I'm trying to figure that out because, and I said this earlier, but I'll give you a quick recap. I need time to recover, so I'm not going to do it this week. This week will be a live chat. The next week will be a sale, but I have to leave that Friday for a Boy Scout camping trip. Is the trip I'm in charge of. So, and Mike's not going, which means I have to drive. Not. We're going way upstate. I don't really want to drive. We gotta see what we can do about that. Anyway, if we need my car for kids, then we need my car for kids, and I'll have to drive. So I don't want to be up way late on the sale on that Thursday. So it looks like it'll be closer to Thanksgiving. I have to check the calendar, but it looks like the party, Christmas vintage, and my birthday party will be actually a month late. We'll do it towards the end of November, and we'll have it then, because then it won't matter. I don't have anything, because by the end of November too, the Christmas tree lot is getting set up the Saturday before Thanksgiving or the Saturday of Thanksgiving. And then the following week, he said it was on a Sunday. We don't usually do that on a Sunday. It's usually on the Saturday. Then 600 and some odd Christmas trees will be arriving. We do not have scout meetings in December because we sell Christmas trees. So we have 662, I think, Christmas trees coming. And I don't have to be at that. I don't have to be at that at all. I will, though, even when there have been years where, because I can't lift a tree anymore, but I will go with my pocket knife. The boys put the tree on the stand, and I will be the one cutting the string off, and so it can fall and fluff up so people can buy it. So that's all I do. And I would probably just, stay for an hour or two. And usually what I do is I would do that on a Saturday, because Saturday mornings are like crazy wacko busy. And I'm worried about this year because we really don't have, we have 2 tall 16-year-olds. That's it. That's it. Everybody else is 14 and younger. So we're kind of quietly putting the word out that, hey, some of you older teenagers who have aged out, older guys who've aged out in the last 2 years, why don't you come back and work a shift on a weekend and help us out? Because there's no way these young kids are going to be able to get trees on top of vehicles. So that's everything. I'm going to go and get that box downstairs. Trash bag's not full, so I'll leave that here. And I got to go out, put that stuff that we just threw out the window into the cardboard bin for recycling. And then I got to start emptying that car of the stuff from her house. And I will sort as I empty it so that I can start filling that box up for Goodwill. And then that way, tomorrow morning, that box can go right to Goodwill and be out the door. Not waiting around. All right, guys. I will see you Thursday at 11 p.m., the usual time, Eastern time, for a live chat. And we'll check in again there. Then. See, the brain is still not completely engaging. Oh, my goodness. So when I get downstairs, I have to work on Boy Scout stuff for my trip. And then I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't. I honestly, my brain only functions for so long, and then it tires out because it's just been exhausting for the last week. But anyway, I'll see you guys Thursday night. We'll chat more then. Have a good couple of days. Have a good Halloween. We're going to make sure the downstairs lights are off because we're not dealing with that this year. Mike's not fully recovered from bronchitis, and I'm too worn out. No, we're just going to turn all the lights off. Nope. But for those of you who are doing something for the holiday, have fun. And I'll see you guys Thursday in November. Bye.